Greetings viewers, picking up right where we left off last week's video. We were talking about making contact shots. Today we're going to talk about hip fire. I've heard people say that it's pointless, there's no reason you would ever need to do it, and again, like I said before, you never know what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in. So being prepared, having the confidence and the skills and the practice necessary to be able to pull something off in an unorthodox situation is going to help you a lot better than just standing on a static range with your arms at full extension, practicing your fundamentals. Those are great, and there's a time and a place for it, but then we also have to add other stuff in, and again, things that you actually try and see how well they work and what you can do to improve in the event that you need to use them. Because you've already practiced it, you're not now having to on the fly decide that that's what you need to or want to do, and then you're trying it for the first time. So being able to practice and do these things ahead of time is going to be more beneficial if you ever need to actually use them. So what is hip shooting? Well, again, instead of extending out using your sights, we are going to be shooting from around our hip region, no sights. Some people may call it point shooting because, again, we keep our index finger indexed towards the target when we're not on the trigger. I know where my finger's pointing. I'm looking at the camera right now, and I can tell you everything that I'm pointing at with my finger, much the same. If I have a pistol in my hand, it's pointing the same way that my finger is pointing. So if I needed to pull the trigger and I go like this, it's still pointing in the same direction. So let's just go ahead and get lined up in front of the target and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so like I said, we don't know what kind of situation we're gonna be in. We don't know how close our target's gonna be. We don't know if we're gonna be sitting in our vehicle and somebody's gonna walk up to our window with a gun in their hand. So if my target is the distance from me to the target, and this is who I'm trying to shoot, it would not make sense for me to go like this, where they could be able to grab it and wrestle it from me and fight me for it. And I've now basically handed it to them and created more of an issue than was already there. I can shoot like this from here and hit that target effectively. If that person goes to reach for it, I can step back, I can extend my other hand. I can also use my second hand here, and I can effectively shoot from this position. Now, if this is the way that you shoot from the hip, you need to also be aware that your slide is going to reciprocate backwards, and it needs to be a little bit away from your body, so you have to have some room there. However, you can lock that arm into your body, again, whether you're down here or whether you're up front, and you can still stabilize it. And you could almost walk the rounds in as needed from this position without having to actually use your sights. Because again, we are close enough. We're not trying to be precise. We're not hitting bullseyes. We're not taking a hostage shot like this. We're just trying to get effective fire, whether we're trying to get a person or multiple people off of us and away from us and create that distance and hopefully have the desired effect on target. So I'm going to start with one hand. I've drawn from the holster, and all I did was just rotate my gun and I fired a round off and I hit my target. I can aim in the same area. All those rounds are right here. I know where my gun is pointed because, again, I'm the one pointing it. I know where I'm facing, I know where my finger's pointing. So if I do a two-handed hip shooting position, create that gap for my slide to reciprocate, I'm locked in on my body here, so I'm a little bit more stable, almost more so than being out here wobbling around. So again, all my rounds are here. I'm a little bit more stable with two hands, and I can point in that one spot and shoot. And again, I'm close enough that it's not going to matter. Now, getting a couple rounds off like that, again, generally going to usually make somebody rethink their life decisions and hopefully get them away from you and stop whatever it is that they're doing that required you to fire your weapon in the first place. So moving the camera a little bit, like I said, you could be in your vehicle. Somebody's come up to your window, you haven't had a chance to get out to engage them. Obviously, it wouldn't make any sense to put the gun out the window and again, present it to them. You want to be able to fire from a compressed position. And it doesn't have to necessarily be straight out in front of you or from the hip on the side. I can shoot just like this, right out my window. And again, they're close enough. It's not necessarily going to be precise, but I can tell where I'm pointing, and I know that I'm going to probably hit the person that's standing there that shouldn't be where they are doing what it is that they're doing. And I actually feel kind of more stable doing it like that, like I said, because I'm more compressed, I've got more points of contact, and more stable than having two arms that are out there just wobbling, fighting gravity to maintaining my sight alignment there. So doing something different other than going to the range and standing flat-footed, facing the target, extend, breathe, squeeze the trigger, you need to try something different. Perhaps your range doesn't let you do rapid fire. You're gonna have to adapt and overcome and just do some slow fire hip shooting. And you can just do slow fire and you're at least practicing the positions. And again, I can do this and shoot from here, and I know where my gun is aiming generally. I'm not going to shoot like that beyond the distance where I would feel comfortable hitting the target. If I'm this close, or again, even closer, I'm going to want that gun here, so it's easier for me to fight for it than being extended and someone's pulling it away from me and now I'm playing tug of war over my firearm. All right, so maybe that was already common knowledge and baby stuff and you already knew all that. Well, if so, thanks for watching the video anyway. But if not, if it's something you have not practiced before, I highly recommend that you practice it. You may or may not never need it. Hopefully you do not. But in the event that you do, you've at least practiced it, you've gotten comfortable with it, you may be a little bit more confident and have a better more understanding of what you need to do in those said positions to, again, maintain ownership of your firearm and use it effectively in extremely close contact. So hopefully you found something useful from this video. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, something that I missed, you want to just tell me and I'm an idiot, you can leave me a comment down below. I'll be glad to respond back to you as soon as I can. If it's something that requires another video or a short I can do to kind of explain or expound upon the point that I'm trying to make or a question I'm trying to answer, I'll be glad to do that for you. So anyways, with that, thank you for watching and we'll catch you in the next video.